Hey guys, I'm Common Rider Silver, and today we're going to be doing a review on the 9Modelism Jungle Lord. So if you don't know what that is, this is a third-party figure based off of the Kong Skull Island Kong mold, and 9Modelism is an independent toy company based out of Thailand. So I started hearing about this almost 2 years ago at this point, and then pre-orders went up about a year and a half ago. And I ordered this from 9Modelism, and since they're a independent toy company, there was, some issues with distribution and getting this to me. So it's been about a year and a half, and I finally have it in hand. And I wanted to show it to you guys because it's pretty cool. It's got some things about it that I'm not super fond of, but I'm glad to finally have it in hand. And I think the paint and sculpting is amazing, so I just really want to show that to you guys. So let's take a closer look. So first off, let's take a look at some of the accessories that come with this. So this is the ultimate version, which was only like $7 extra. I should mention that this figure is no longer in production. If I would have reviewed this like over a year ago, it still would be, but at the time that I'm getting this, it is no longer in production. But this is the ultimate version, which came with a few different accessories. It came with sets of each one of these hands. I just have one for the moment. Here is a fist hand, a open hand, or I should say this is actually the grabbing hand. Looks kind of open. This is the open hand. It comes with an extra neck peg in case you break yours, I guess. And you can kind of tell that this wasn't the right color, so he painted it. So that'll probably chip off. Comes with a nice tree pole. This is nice. I actually really like this. There's difference in the browns. There's a little bit deeper browns, some darker browns, and then there's that green moss. Plus the sculpt is actually really nice. You got some different heads, and I do have to say, the sculpt on all of this is very nice. And the painting for the most part. This is kind of a bearing teeth head. Really nice eyes in there, I gotta say. Very small, intricate hand painting. That's cool. This one's probably my favorite. Very stoic Kong head. I like that. And then he comes with his, of course, roaring head. You can't have a Kong without a roaring head. Teeth are a little bit sloppy, but whatever. And you got your ultimate Kong accessories. Now, since we're looking at these pieces at a smaller scale, I want to say some of the casting quality of this cast resin really is kind of shoddy, and I've had to fill in a lot of these joints with blue putty because they're very loose. They were drilled bigger than the joint actually is, but some of this, casting is really, really rough. There's bubbles, there's a lot of really rough drilled out bits. I mean, obviously I had to drill it out, but a lot of really rough casting. And that's just a little bit disappointing, But I can totally understand for what it is, that it's a homemade figure, but still, I feel like it's a little rough. Now finally looking at Jungle Lord himself, or Kong. This, like I said, the sculpting for what the prototype was, and what got translated over into the cast resin, is really good. I really like some of these sculpted fur details. They're really sharp, hand sculpted. I mean, absolutely amazing. I gotta say, from what the, the parent figure would be, I feel like he's maybe a little bit skinny, but that's really not a problem. The back looks good. I mean, the sculpt of the muscles and everything, it looks amazing. And the joints aren't throwing me off that much as far as the breaking up of the sculpt. I think it's fine enough, except for maybe the neck. I feel like this floating neck piece just doesn't really work that great in covering up what the neck looks like when it's lifted up. But I have other Revoltech figures that, the Amazing Yamaguchi, that you're supposed to look at them from a certain angle and not look at them from the weird neck angle. So I can understand that for the type of joints that they are. And like we looked at the faces, they're very nice. I mean, it looks just like Kong. So for that, this figure actually looks amazing. I think the resin actually, for, you know, being a little bit thin in some places, doesn't feel like it's going to break. It doesn't feel like it's going to withstand, you know, a shelf dive or anything like that, but it feels sturdy enough. I do have a problem with some of the joints. I've had to stick some of that blue tack in. See, well, now I tighten this up, but like this joint right here, you can see how rough that is. There was almost no friction at all, but I fixed that up, and when you fix that up a little bit, he can actually stand, I think. Yeah. So, once you get him posing, you can get some good poses out of this guy. Let's go over the articulation. He's got that double Riveltech joint at the neck, so you can get him looking all the way up if you can keep the joint in there. But like I said, with Riveltech figures, this is what you're going to come to expect, that they're going to have crazy neck articulation, but it's not going to look pretty. Then that comes down, and then you got another Riveltech joint at the shoulder, which seems like it's glued into the body, so you're not going to get a lot of swivel out of this arm, except for the joint that goes in here, but that runs into this back piece. Goes out, and it's nice clicky-clack in there. You got another Riveltech joint right here. Nice click, 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 click. There's some flakes coming off, not from the paint, but from where he drilled the joints. Got another Riveltech joint at the hand. Of course, with Riveltech joints, you know, you have to turn it to the point that you're going to click it at. At the waist, there's a Riveltech joint, but, I mean, you don't get any clicks from that, just because of how the sculpt is, but that's okay. Another Riveltech joint at the leg right here, and where do I have it turned? I have it turned that way, so it's going to kick out. And if I want it to go another way, I got to turn it a little bit more. Right there at the knee. Got another Riveltech joint. Ooh, nice and tight. I'm glad for that, at least. And then you got more of those at the feet. And this actually comes out. You can kind of see how the Riveltech joint goes in there. And slips back on. It actually popped on. Wow, I'm surprised. And there's the head off again. So, if you have other Riveltech figures, like the Baragon, you can kind of know what to expect as far as articulation goes with Riveltech joints. This is all Riveltech joints, every single joint. And this will be a good segue into our next segment. Look at this size. They're in scale. So talking about scale for Jungle Lord, let's bring in a ruler. He is in scale with these Riveltech figures. And I don't think this was on purpose to be in scale necessarily with the Showa Riveltech figures, but it's just that the Kong Skull Island Kong is smaller. So looking at him right here, looking at him dead on, he's just under 5 inches, which you can't see on the screen right now, but from my angle, he's just under 5 inches. And like I said, put him up to that Riveltech Baragon. That's in scale, even though they never met. Now, bringing in some other Kong figures. Here is the Godzilla vs. Kong Playmates King Kong, which I repainted. And this is obviously a much larger figure and actually a little bit heavier. Bringing in another Playmates Kong. Here is the Kong Skull Island Kong. So these are the same Kong technically. Here is the NECA Kong. And I mean, I have this guy crouched over and he's already way bigger. Look at that. Can't even see him all the way in the frame. And now Jungle Lord is wanting to fall over. So yeah, NECA Kong is absolutely a monster. Bringing in Mezco Kong. Once again, absolute monster. You could break a window with this guy. And then here is the SH Monster. It's Godzilla 2019. Definitely not in Godzilla vs. Kong scale, but, you know, at some point when Kong was growing, he had to have been this size. So you can, I guess, say, hit scales at some point in Kong's timeline. Here is my customized Playmate Skullcrawler. So that's how the Playmate Skullcrawler scales with him. And once again, this is, you know, not the right scale for specifically Ramrak and Kong, but There could be bigger skull crawlers, Kong could be a younger Kong. But specifically talking about Kong Skull Island, this is not a great scale, but I'm happy to finally have a skull crawler for him to battle with. Lastly, here is the only other Kong Skull Island thing I have to compare him with. And this is... dun dun dun... bong. The Lanyard Toys Mega Kong. And as you can see, these two are in scale. So there you go, guys. There was a look at the 9Modelism Jungle Lord. Throughout the review, this guy has actually kind of grown on me. You get him in some poses, and he's looking cool. I'm really liking this pose right here. Am I happy about some of the joints being rough, and some of the paint being a little thin in places? Not really. Am I happy about getting him almost a year late? Definitely not, but I am happy that I do finally have him, and I can add him to my collection. Whether he's exactly what I thought he was going to be or not, I have been wanting to get this figure for a very, very long time. And I don't like to complain about things, so I'm happy to add this to my collection. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, this figure is no longer available. Tom Tist, or 9Modelism, is currently working on a Zilla figure in both statue and action figure. So if you want to get that, go to the 9Modelism Facebook page or his own website where he sells his products, and you can check that out. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!